Hello there folks, today we will be talking about few more Essen releases. So recently I did my top 15 most anticipated Essen Spiel 2017 releases video, but there are so many cool games, possibly cool games coming out in Essen, and there's so much to talk about, so I felt like I'm gonna do this video as well, where I just talk about 15 more games without ranking them, because I think they are worth noticing, they are worth looking at if you'll be in Essen or even after Essen, doesn't matter. Anyway, the thing about this one now, usually when I buy games from Essen, not many of them end up in my collection. I mean, eventually when I play them through, quite a few of them leave the collection. And some of you may say that, oh, you should get as much information in advance as possible, read the rule books and such. So here is the thing. I'm a bit more lazy, so I don't want to read rule books just to understand if I want to buy the game. I'm a bit more lazy, I'm a bit more spontaneous. I look at the cover, I look at the description. If there is a video, of course, I look at the video. Sometimes I will look at rulebooks as well if I'm very uncertain. But usually, if I will read the rulebook, then it is usually that I already have the game and I'm trying to learn it so I can play it. Because I don't want to waste my time reading the rulebook and not having opportunity to play this game. It's just me. People are all different. So that's where I take the risk by pre-ordering, by buying games in Essen that I feel they look cool, they sound cool, but maybe the real mechanics are not as exciting. I take that risk. So, for example, out of 40 games, maybe 10 of them will end up in my collection eventually, you know. But anyway, there are some really cool games coming out in Essen, except those top 15, which I'm most excited about. So let's, without further ado, go to that list right here. So the first game I'm going to talk about is 1920 Wall Street. It's from Looping Games, who did Doubloons, for example, and 1911. It's from Amundsen vs. Scott, so it's the same kind of a category of their games. 1911. We did review of 1911. We did review of Doubloons. I love Doubloons. Doubloons is amazing. 1911 was whatever. But now this is from the same series, but this is about stock market. You collect shares from 4 different companies, you influence the value, you sell shares and so on, and eventually you want to get the most points. But there is some kind of a twist that you need to reach the minimum quantity in shares and understand that you can score those points, something like that. So I'm starting from stockpile. I was really looking forward to more stock market games that are kind of easy to get out of the box, play and understand and teach and learn. So I'm hoping that this small title, because it's a smaller box, it's a card game, stock market game, will have enough stock marketing fun for me. Now, next game is Alexandria. So this is a game from Luddy Creations. The art is from Vincent Dutray. That's an automatic win for me. I mean, then look at the game, and you're kind of trying to manage this limited time to grab the scrolls from the burning library of Alexandria and trying to save those scrolls and books and whatever. Now, the cool part is that usually in games, when you're trying to save something from the disaster, it's usually a cooperative setting, cooperative mechanics. Here, it's completely competitive. I know that there are more games of that way, but I mean, usually. And that's the thing, you're kind of trying to save the world, but in a competitive way. So that's really cool, sounds great, Alexandria. Now the next one is Armin Ray, the card game. I'm like, the Super Meeple made the new version of Armin Ray, and I really like the looks of it. I'm not sure about this Rhino Knizia, I'm not sure about the auctions, because I like the auctions, but I'm not the biggest fan, so it depends what else this game has, how much strategy it has, and so on. But, so I didn't want to evolve myself into this Armin Ray, the board game, but the card game sounds very similar to the board game, where you have different auctions, you're spending money, you're scoring points for the pyramids that are still visible, something like that, as I understand. So you're basically building the pyramids as well. Very abstract, everything based on auctions, but it's made into card game now, and it's probably faster, it's probably a little bit smaller for the footprint. I mean, I just love all sorts of card games, and it looks great. That's Armin Ray, the card game. Now I can try Armin Ray, but just in a different version. Then the next game is Arkham Noir, case number 1, whatever, the witch, something like that, I don't remember. You will see from the title. But it's based on the Lovecraft stories. Now it's a solitaire game. I'm not in solitaire games, I don't like to play them, except I have Arkham Horror, the card game, so I played it already once and I want to play it more, so it was a little bit different experience. I really like the setting, I really like Lovecraft stories, so that's why I like the setting here as well. Arkham Noir, you're playing the cards, there's a lot of hand management, you're trying to get those puzzle cards, kind of solve the puzzle, so I hope it's thematic in that point. And it's kind of, you get some new decks eventually, and each new deck is unique, and it's kind of the start of a new challenge. Sounds interesting, sounds different. Maybe it's the solitaire game I will enjoy. Who knows? Arkham Noir, case number 1. Then we have Bronze. It's from Hobby World. Bronze is a kind of area control game, as I understand, maybe resource management a little bit, but basically it's area control influence. So you're building the settlements into different areas, trying to have the most settlements in particular areas so you can score points. But there is also that competitive play in the trading routes, and you're trying to get the most points, the most value, the most money, whatever. I'm not sure how great it is. I'm not sure if I will like it, but it sounds interesting and it looks interesting. So, and I like the themes of prehistoric, you know, Bronze Age, whatever. I like all those kinds of themes. That's why I like Civilization as well. I like to start from the beginning, from the early stages of humanity to advanced technology, you know. That's the thing. So Bronze, take a look at that. Then we have Dead Man's Doubloons. It was on Kickstarter. Now in previous video I said I'm not going to include any Kickstarters. Here I included it because I didn't back it. And it's coming out in Essen, as I understand, as well. It will be in Essen, at least. That's what I know. Who knows? But you are playing as pirates, and there is a cool kind of you're sailing around the rift, trying to collect the treasure map fragments, and eventually you will fight each other. And the cool part, it looks amazing, by the way, it looks amazing. The cool part, though, is that if you get defeated, you will become a ghost ship with cursed treasure, and you still have a chance to win. So if you're defeated, it doesn't mean that you're eliminated. And that's really cool, and you become kind of a ghost ship. It's thematic, you know. I don't know, it just looks amazing, and I hope it's a great game, not just an amazing components and art. So that's Dead Man's Doubloons. Then we have Dragon's Hoard. It's at least, I think it's a reprint from Renegade Games. It has really nice art, sheep and dragons. I don't know, I just like small card games as well, sometimes to try them, to play them as well. So this has, yeah, it's not much to say. It's just a nice little card game. You're playing as dragons trying to collect the most sheep, but all the other players, there's some kind of a tech debt element, as I understand, where other players can play cards on you, trying to stop you from grabbing too many sheeps. whatever, sheep, sorry. So, Dragon's Hoard, it sounds interesting for a little card game. Let's hope it is. Then the Dragon's Gate College. It's a dice drafting game from NSK Games. Now, why I'm interested in this one is that we've already reviewed, or we had one Blender segment as well for Predator. Then we reviewed Simurgh. I also played Versailles. So NSK Games, and they have Exodus Proxima Centauri, but it's an epic space themed game, so I'm not really into those. Anyway, all the other games, the Euro type games that they have, although none of them is in my collection anymore, they weren't amazing, but they were different, they were cool. For example, I really like Predator. Eventually, I want to play Predator again. I want to play Versailles again. I want to play Simurgh again. Just rarely, you know, but still, there was something about those games that was different from the other usual Euro games. And that's what I liked very much. And maybe now Dragon's Gate College will be the one to click more with my gaming group, with me, so I will keep it in my collection for a longer time, because eventually I'm selling the games, I'm selling and buying games all the time, because I want my collection to keep rotating. So eventually, if I don't play this game for 2 years anymore, its time has passed, although it might be an amazing game and I really like it, but if I cannot get it on the table, then anyway. Dragon's Gate College, yeah, there's that dice drafting, you're improving your actions basically, as I understand. There's tile placement as well. I do like tile placement, so Dragon's Gate College. Then we have guilds. Guilds, it reminded me, first of all, the art is amazing. The theme, I was like, medieval theme, again, don't care, but the art is amazing, and I saw the tiles of those different rooms, and it reminded me of Castles of Mad King Ludwig, where you're building up. So you're kind of expanding and building your guilds and trying to recruit new people to the guilds. It's tile placement right there. So it reminded me also, there is that video game called The Guild or something, The Guilds. I don't know, the video game, so I played as well, so where you're managing your life as a guild master, and it's a whole like life of a guild master, a few different time skips and so on. Anyway, guilds reminded me of that, and that's why I'm interested. Also a few mechanics reminds and such. So the next game is Harvest Dice. Harvest Dice is a roll and write game. Now that's the first point of interest, because lately roll and write games have become kind of a genre to look into. It's become a popular genre, and this roll and write game has this kind of you will feed your crops or whatever, you will feed vegetables to the pig, or you will put them into your garden, but there's a market that changes all the time, and so you need to adapt to that. For a roll and write game, I think it might be interesting. Anyway, Harvest Dice, small game, so why not? Then Harvest Island, so another harvest. So you're planting and you're harvesting seeds, but you're trying to do it in the most efficient way based on the weather forecast. I don't know much about this, except it looks interesting, and it's an Asian game, so I'm hoping for a good twist. So far I tried a few Asian games, and they are interesting, different, and there might be some hidden gems in them. So Harvest Island. Then we have a smaller card game, and I have this on my shelf right here. This is a prototype copy, In Between. In Between is a two-player card game, really cool world of darkness, the good, basically the good and evil. One player is playing the good, the other player is playing the evil. You have separate decks, and there's a circle of the characters. You're trying to get more characters on your side if you're playing the bad. The good does the same for good. You are using your own deck of cards to play them and to use them as icons, as abilities and such. So there's that different hand management, variable card abilities and such. So the art is amazing. It looks thematic, it looks kind of neat for a smaller card game, and I hope it is cool. I haven't tried it yet, but I will eventually. I know, Philip, what you will say, but I will. I just need to find only one player. Usually when somebody comes to play, there's more than one player. So anyway, in between. Then we have Nomads. Nomads, I basically was interested in the game because of the theme. It's the campfire and the stories around the campfire. And here it's a set collection. You're trying to collect the pieces of the story, of the songs or whatever, and trying to basically maybe complete a story or something like that and get the most points. So I really like the look. It seems to be an easy game on a level of introductory, maybe a gateway of a set collection. Because my collection now consists of quite a few games that are a little bit more bigger, and I don't have a variety of gateway games anymore. I kind of trying to find new ones to replace, to get more of them, and I want the ones that look great, that have a cool theme. For example, the campfire. I'm sure if I tell about, so we're sitting around the campfire telling the stories, we're trying to get the fragments of the stories and then complete the story, whatever, people will be interested. Anyway, then there is, Otis. Otis is from the same company that did Deus, and also it's co-published with Libellut, who, for example, published the new cool Mysterium. So this one has cool art. You are diving deep into the ocean, whatever, you're diving somewhere, trying to get basically some treasures or whatever, the resources out of it. But with each dive, you're trying to be as efficient as possible. That's what I like in games, when there is kind of a situation and you need to be the most efficient in a limited amount of turns, time, whatever. So here is also, it's race to the, how many points, 18 or something like that. It's a race to the points, like for example Manhattan Project. There is, for example, limited oxygen, so you need to go up on the surface, you need to build your whatever tank or whatever, the meter, and then you can dive in again. Tight resource management probably. Sounds interesting, looks amazing, I'm interested. And then the last one is Wanted, Rich or Dead. So this one reminded me a little bit of the several games, for example, Histria. So it's simultaneous action selection. So there are different locations, and it's in this like Old West setting, and you are kind of, each one of you simultaneously is selecting a location they want to go to, revealing that. If you go there alone, you can use the location. If you go there with someone else, then there will be a shootout. So it's similar to Histria, where you're trying to kind of, it's outsmarting and outthinking your opponents, so you will get the most benefit by going to that location alone. But maybe he thinks you will go there, so he wants to stop you and go there as well. So there's that which I like a lot. For example, in History as well, you're also like choosing the locations face down and then revealing, and then seeing if you're alone there, you get the cards. If there are more than one of you, then you don't get the cards, but you get a kind of a other reward or bonus. So this one is similar here. And as I understand that there are different characters who each play differently, have some speciality or something like that. So it seems to be also like a lighter game, maybe towards gateway, and I'm hoping for the best. It's published by Galacta. We did reviews of Ragers, Champions of the Arena, Ragers, yeah. So, and the Age of Thieves, amazing game. Ragers is a fine two-player battle game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So these are all the games I'm also looking forward to. There are even more games, but I just cannot talk about everything. Anyway, thanks for watching. If there is any game that I have skipped that's good to look at, tell me about it. Or you want to argue about any of these games that I have selected, something like that. Anyway, yeah, just write something in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to like, to go to Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. And finally, there is Patreon going on. So please consider supporting the channel with Patreon. Even $1 is a support. So anything you can throw in. I also opened the PayPal where you can do one-off sums support as well. So if you don't want to commit yourself to each month, you can just do it once. Yeah, it's not the best times, but it will be better. It will be more merrier. It will be cooler very soon, and I'm sure about that. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you another time. Bye bye. This channel is sponsored by Osprey Games. Check them out at ospreypublishing.com.